prove to you why white people are the reason I'm fat today. If white people didn't go looking for spices, then various sea routes to Indian subcontinent and Africa and other places of the world would not get discovered. And if they didn't get discovered, then East India Company would never come to Indian subcontinent. And if they didn't come, then the fertility of the land would not get destroyed, because they forced us to cultivate tobacco and dyes and opioid, things like that, and that destroyed the fertility of my country. And then if that didn't happen, and if they didn't exploit and extract resources until my ancestors were left with nothing to eat, we wouldn't move to this grain heavy, very little nutritious diet that we have today. Also, if white people didn't come to the Indian subcontinent, then my ancestors would not go through 50 small, medium, large famines in a period of 200 years. That's a lot. And in 1943, nearly 3 million people would not have died due to starvation and malnutrition. And if that didn't happen, then this entire place and the people of this place would not adapt to survive on lower calories. We also wouldn't biologically be programmed to hold on to more fat, because my genes, they always think, okay, you're gonna die. At some point, there's gonna be a famine, you will not have food, and you're gonna die. I would also not be prone to diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases, and all that other things. So yeah, white people is the reason why I can't lose weight.
At no point in those 2 minutes and however many seconds did that fat woman hold herself accountable for the things she put into her body. I bet you she probably sat down a bunch of days during the week and just ate and ate and ate and ate. Maybe it was comfort food. Maybe it was to cope with depression. Maybe it was just because she's fat and she likes to eat. These are all possibilities as to why this woman is fat. And to sit there and get on social media and say it's white people's fault is the most brain dead take any fat person can have as it pertains to why they are fat. I understand people's biological structures, DNA, genetics, your family's fat, so you're going to turn up fat. These are all other reasons that probably could make sense to somebody who could deduce what is true and what is not. But when you get on these social media apps and you point the finger at other people, you got to understand that when you do that, people are going to see it and say, wait a minute, fatty, what are you doing to cause that to yourself? How are you going to blame a generation of white people who are dead and the evolution of food as the reason you are fat? You are responsible for what you put into your bodies. I understand that the founder of KFC is a white guy, but you still have the choice to spend $10 on a bucket of chicken. I understand that Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's, they all exist, and they're the result of somebody wanting to benefit from people at a cheap price for some greasy, non-good food, but you still have the choice in putting that into your body. I'm responsible for all the cereal I put in my body. I'm responsible for the iced tea I put in my body. I'm responsible for the Popeyes, the dildos, all the panties and the pussy I put in my body, and I am not getting on social media blaming white people for how I look because I'm the sexiest black YouTuber. I'm designed genetically to look good, but that's besides the point. You show how lazy you truly are. You show that you don't have any form of self-accountability. You show that you're just too easy to start pointing the finger and you seemingly think everybody's going to agree with that. No, people are going to see that. They're going to see you for what you are, somebody who can't hold themselves accountable, and they're going to laugh at you. And there's nobody to blame in that situation but yourself. It's this weird game people like to do. It's not just about being fat. It's also about business, relationships, friendships, family, money-making opportunities, content creation. There's this easy way to just point the finger finger at other people instead of looking inward and seeing where you're the problem and being able to fix that and help yourself. Don't give me all this BS about how diet culture is fat phobic, and if you're somebody who's fat and you show a before and after picture, you're obviously hating on all these fat people in the world and you're just being fat phobic.
Oh, intentional weight loss. So you purposely saying, I want to lose 20 pounds is fat phobic. And you might be like, what? Oh my goodness. I'm not trying to be fat phobic, but you are. You're being fat phobic to yourself. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? It's probably to fit into something smaller. It's probably so people treat you better. It's probably for all the reasons that fat folks are shamed simply for being fat. So by continuing to perpetuate that, right, seeking intentional weight loss, we are contributing to our fat phobic society. So that's why intentional weight loss is fat phobic.
Diet culture or personal trainers say take progress photos to stay on track. What they're actually doing is perpetuating the lie that us humans are healthier when we are smaller, which is simply not true. These transformation photos also demonize the before photo as someone that is not good enough just as they are. What does this content say about somebody that looks like the before photo? It says you are not good enough as you are, and I had to go to extreme lengths to not look like you, and I'm being celebrated for that. Piggybacking onto fat phobia and body shaming. This content also regularly focuses around women, that a woman's primary focus in life should be to take up as little space as possible, masked as determination or discipline. Lastly, these photos belittle exercise simply down to a weight loss tool, but it is so much more than that.
Cut the bullshit. It's just people trying to make themselves better, not for me, not for you, not for anybody, but themselves, because they see the writing on the wall that, hey, this lifestyle isn't really good for myself. I look in the mirror and I don't like how I look. I look at what I eat and I'm always sluggish. I'm going to change that, and they do it, and for some reason they get scrutinized for it. But it's more okay to get on TikTok and blame white people as the reason you're fat. That's not how we gonna stomach that. You're fat because you decided to eat copious amounts of food. You're fat because you looked at all the dinner, all the buffets, all the Golden Corral, all the desserts, and you wanted to shovel it all in your mouth. You cannot sit here and continuously play the game of let's blame other people for our own personal choices. Eventually, you gotta get up and change your own life. And if you're not willing to do that, cool. Everybody else on the planet is not going to cater to you. Everybody else on the planet is not going to bow to you. Everybody else on the planet is not going to deal with your own self-pity and how you want to play the blame game. Deal with that yourself by yourself. Everybody else is willing to self-improve, and they're going to do that. If you're comfortable the way you are, okay. I don't want anybody to think, oh, I'm shaming a bunch of people. If you're comfortable, if you're too short, you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too tall, and you look in the mirror and you love yourself, I got no problem with that. But if you're going to get on any platform and blame everybody else for your failures, whether if you're fat, you're too ugly, you ain't got enough money, you ain't got no friends, guess what? I'm gonna need you to do me a quick favor. Go look in the mirror and self-evaluate yourself, because the more you constantly want to blame others for why you suck, the more of a miserable life you will continue to have. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.